Hello my friends, this is Alien Contactee Linol Anderson here with you guys with a brand new YouTube BitChute video. In today's video, my friends, I have an absolute bombshell I'm about to drop onto you guys. I am going to reveal the reptilian agenda to turn you and the rest of humans into the gray aliens. That's right. What if I were to tell you, my friends, that the grays, you know those aliens, those short little aliens with the big head and the big black eyes, what if I were to tell you that it's very possible that those little buggers are actually us from the future? I know it sounds crazy, right? But what if I were to tell you that there's evidence that this process has already begun and is underway? That's right, my friends. The process has already begun and the wheels are in motion, and I'm going to provide you the facts and evidence behind all that. So just going to encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button before we begin. As I say, subscribe to survive. I cover all these topics: NWO, aliens, reptilians, you name it, Nibiru. So subscribe for more, and also hit that like button. Helps OWELI know so much algorithms. And now let's just get right into this, okay, my friends? So this all just the light switch turned on the other day. I saw something got released, okay? A video of this scientist guy. I guess he's a scientist for a little organization known as the WEF, the old forum down there, you know what I mean? So yeah, this scientist, Dr. Leo, I believe his name is, he was going on about how, you know, we need to save the planet from the weather. You know, that whole agenda about saving the planet from the weather because of all the changes that are happening. And I guess the number one culprit is us eating meat. You know, it's not Bill Gates and all those guys flying around their private jets or their yachts. Oh no, that's fine. But us eating meat because the cows fart, that's the problem, obviously, right? So, with that being said, to save the planet from the weather, what we pretty much need to do is cut down on meat consumption. But the problem is, humans like meat, and even though they care about the planet, they still want that juicy steak, and they can't say no. So what are they gonna do to stop us from eating the meat? Well, maybe they could engineer humans to be sick with the meat. Here, take a look at the clip where he's talking about that. Take a look.
Give two examples. So one is that people eat too much meat, right? And if they were, people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, you know, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So, you know, but so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance. And some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
That's right. So there you go. Maybe we could create a food intolerance similar to the Lone Star tick that he's talking about, which is interesting because right now there is this problem with this tick going around the world, and people are developing severe allergies to meat. And some people are getting very sick. Some people can possibly die if they eat meat. Take a look. That's right. So it's already begun. Maybe this engineering of people have already begun. Is it the tick? I don't know about that, but I'm not talking about that in this video, okay, my friends? So the second point that he brought up, though, and this is where all the lights start going off for me when it comes to this gray alien stuff, is he starts talking about how maybe another thing they can do is engineer humans so we could be smaller as well. Take a look at this.
possibly address really big world problems through human engineering. Another example is, and
you go first.
yeah, and another example is sort of, and here I'll go first, right? You'll see that I'm the smallest person here, right? And Amy's the smallest person. So it turns out that the larger you are, think of the lifetime sort of greenhouse gas emissions that are required to sort of the energy that's required to transport larger people rather than smaller people, right? But if we're smaller just by 15 centimeters, right? That's a mass, I did the math, and it's about mass reduction of 25%, which is huge. And 100 years ago, we're all on the average smaller, exactly about 15 centimeters smaller. Right? So think of just the, like lifetime greenhouse gas emissions if we had smaller children, right? And so that's something that we could do through some sort of human
could we, like setting...
There you go. So he wants humans to become smaller, he says. Because if we're smaller, we're not going to need as much energy. And he, as you can see, he says, oh, it's only be 15 centimeters. Well, he's just introducing the idea now. It'll be 15 centimeters, then, oh, something else will happen. Oh, we need to be smaller, 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 until you're about the size of a gray alien. Okay? So they're already admitting that's what they want to do. They want to turn us into meat allergic people, and they want to turn us smaller. Now, what's another trait that the Greys have? Well, according to the stories, and to the theories, that the Greys are testing on humans, the gray alien abductions, humans get abducted by the Greys, and the reason all this is happening is because their race is dying, and they can no longer repopulate. They can't reproduce. Something happened to their species where they cannot reproduce anymore. So they're coming back, they're abducting people, and that's why they're taking their DNA, and that's why women are having unexplained pregnancies. They're trying to find a way they could keep their race living and going on, right? That's the whole thing of the theory of the Greys. Well, that leads me to my next point and how they're actively doing this to us right now, my friends. I want you guys to do a little experiment here. Go to Google and type in, and I can't even say the word or else this video might get removed or demonetized, but I'll spell it for you. Type in SPERM count 2045 into Google, and I'm going to show you the screenshot of what it says. Okay, take a look right here. That's right, my friends. It's telling us by 2045, men's SPERM count will be 0. By every year, right now, it is decreasing by 1 to 2%. It's already begun, okay? And this is due to a multitude of reasons. Let's just put it this way. There's a lot of stuff in the food, in our water, in the products we use on our skin, and other things that I can't speak about on this channel that have been happening to humans in recent years that are causing the reductions of the SPERM count. And also women are being affected with their fertility matters as well. And they're pretty much saying by 2045, it's going to be 0. And that means no more babies, no more nothing. That means there's going to be no more of that, my friends. No more. Which is another trait that the Greys have, these beings who appeared to be humans at one point and went down. It's like there's these two timelines playing out, right, my friends? And the Greys went down the timeline that's happening right now. I call it the Nibiru timeline, or the NWO dystopian future timeline, where they merge with AI, merge with technology, take everything the government wants them to have, if you know what I mean. And that's how they eventually end up becoming. So it's very important, if you don't want to go down that timeline, I must say it's very important that you detox yourself so you don't end up being infertile, sterile, gray alien, pretty much. So just wanted to give a huge shout out to my sponsors, OWELLI's Liver Detox. This is going to detox your liver and detox the poisons right out. Our liver is the #1 thing that they attack, okay, my friends, through all their poisons and whatnot. If you don't have a healthy liver, you're not going to detox, so definitely check out the Liver Detox. The link is down below. And also, I got the colon cleanse now as well, my friends. OWELLI's colon cleanse. We got parasites, my friends, and tons of stuff stored in our colon, toxins and stuff, stuff that's gonna make you infertile. You better believe the colon cleanse, that'll flush you out too, get rid of all the parasites and all that junk. These two things are vital. The links to both are down below. Now we will continue this video because I got more information for you guys. So we went through those two things, right, my friends? We went through, well, 3 things. They don't want us eating the meat. They want to make us smaller. We found out by 2045, those who go down that timeline will not be able to reproduce. What else is happening in the world right now? Well, you know, we have that whole a trend going on now with people who claim to be non-binary, right? And that means they don't identify as man, they don't identify as a woman. They're just it, you know? And it's interesting, non-binary, just that name. Did you know binary means like a computer code? Take a look. Interesting choice for that name. Why are they using something to do with computers to describe somebody who's non-binary? And if you look at the gray aliens, they're not a man or woman either. They're kind of an it, right? You don't see any features to distinguish when as a man or a woman. It's almost like this whole non-binary thing is kind of something for future humans who won't be a man or a female. You know, just thinking out loud here, my friends. And the whole computer code binary, that also reminds me of, you know, something to do with AI, because it's computer related. And we know there's an agenda right now. It's openly admitted that, you know, there's nanotechnology in our food, and among other things that people are taking, and even chemtrails in the sky, they're loading us with nanotechnology is what I'm trying to tell you guys. And it's an open admitted fact now. There's nanotechnology in everything. And we know there's a current push to merge humans with, you guessed it, AI. They're merging us with AI. You better believe it, my friends. So, with all that being said, that is what the Greys are, right? They're us from the future who merged with the technology. A lot of people who've had experiences with Greys and contact with them have said they're very robotic. They're very, some think that they're just robots. Well, they are. That's, even Ray Kurzweil once said on this Joe Rogan said, question everything. He said by 2030, humans are going to be called Robo Sapiens. We're going to have millions of nanobots in our brains, and that's how we're going to be.
Ray Kurzweil believes we will have nanobots in our brains in the 2030s.
We create this tool basically to enhance ourselves. I mean, we want to advance technology, and so we created these machines that can go way past us. The way to do that is to actually bring that intelligence into ourselves. And during the 2030s, we're going to be able to enhance our own intelligence by bringing AI into ourselves. So it's not just going to be humans versus machines. They're going to be together, and we're going to be more advanced because we'll have AI inside us.
I can hold a smartphone in my hand, which gives me access to the
Yes, it does that somewhat.
Isn't that the same thing? Except it doesn't require neurosurgery for me to gain access to the.
Well, you don't have to use neurosurgery. I mean, there's ways to do this.
You have ways.
Right? So, yes, they are robots, but they're us. They're us who went down that timeline of merging with the AI. What they want you to do, they want you to put the brain implants, right? The Neuralink. And they want to merge humanity with machine. And that's an openly admitted fact at the WEF and everything, that they want to do that. So, how are we going to end up? We're going to end up like the Greys. That's just what it comes down to, my friends. That is what they're doing. So if you choose that timeline to merge with technology and to accept everything that they want to give you and put the chips in your brain, then your future is going to be somebody who eventually is going to be shrunken down in size, robotic, and not even human anymore. You're going to be like a little robo-sapien, as Ray Kurzweil calls it. And just to show you one last video that proves all this stuff, I'm going to show you the man we know as Bashar, or Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar. And he had a channeling which confirmed all this that I'm telling you. So take a look at this.
The beings that you know as the Greys are a mutated race of humans from a parallel version of Earth. They used to look just like you. Not you specifically.
Right.
The idea being that they destroyed their version of Earth and had to mutate themselves to survive. They lost the ability to reproduce. Therefore, in order to perpetuate their civilization, they had to use their advanced technology to tunnel into parallel reality versions of Earth where human DNA was still viable, such as in your reality. So they could extract that DNA, create hybrid races such as ourselves, and thus perpetuate their society and their culture in that way. Recognizing that we owe you a debt for having created us from your DNA and their DNA, we share these informational things with you to help you avoid the same path, because we observe that your world might be heading down a similar path that they took that destroyed their version of Earth. Short story.
Perfect.
But the idea is that at a certain point, when they realized what a tremendous undertaking it would be to create the hybridization agenda in order to perpetuate their civilization, they knew that the only way they could achieve it would be by giving up any vestige of their humanity and becoming a hive mind, so they could work efficiently enough so that they could actually achieve the goal. In order to then guide them, they still needed a race of beings who could oversee the project. Those are the mantids. Do you understand?
I completely do.
All right. Does that help?
That helps a lot. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's right. You heard it from him. I don't know how many years ago he said that, but he said it. And I think it's been confirmed by many different sources. Myself, him, and many others have confirmed in channelings that this is what happened to humans. But now we see, as a fact, with our own eyes, that the process has already begun. We got the WEF talking about it, and we got this facts and evidence to show that it's already underway. Many of the steps needed for this to be is already underway. So it's a shame, my friends, but the lucky thing is you don't have to go down that timeline. There's multiple different timelines playing out. You could go on the timeline, though, where none of that stuff happens, okay? And where you could choose the organic timeline, I like to call it. You could choose their timeline of merging with AI, NWO, the Nibiru event, all that stuff, humanity going extinct, and all that, the metaverse. Or you could choose the timeline where humanity rises up and defeats the dark forces, and we live in a beautiful golden age. And we create our own reality, my friends. And the way you get on the positive timeline is you raise your vibration, right? And it's all about vibration and frequency. That's how you choose what timeline when the world's split. Because you got to remember, we're in a multiverse, okay? And there's multiple parallel realities of Earth, as Bashar was saying. So you could choose a better reality for yourself. But to do that, you have to let go of the old ways. You got to not accept the old ways either. You can't accept their agenda. And you got to raise your vibrational frequency to match that of this new Earth, or new simulation, I should say, that is forming. Okay? Because I don't even trust this new Earth stuff either. I want to go right out of the Earth system, if you know what I mean. A whole new dimension of reality that has nothing to do with Earth. That's just how I feel anyways. I made a video exposing Earth and how it just means Inky's simulation, pretty much. Each their own. You guys got to do your own research, but definitely watch all my videos. And that's it for today's video. I hope you guys learned something new. Share this video if you found it informative. And like I said, subscribe to survive, and check me out on Patreon, my friends. Got the Ascent 5D class where I'm teaching you guys how to exit this matrix. Got the occult class, health class, Palladian channelings, you name it. All the links are down below, and of course, the links to the liver detox, links to the colon cleanse. Detox is your #1 priority right now, my friends. That's another vital thing if you don't want to go down that timeline. Get all that nanotechnology out of you. Okay, my friends, love you all. Lionel signing off. Subscribe.